Well, good afternoon, everybody. How's it going on this really hot day? Hottest of the year, apparently. It's all sort of hot but cool here, and we've got a really nice sky overhead. Not in Sanntangle Towers today, so hello, Leslie and Tommy, if you're there. I'm at home prepping ready for tomorrow's shows. So, okay, here we go. What are we going to be doing for Tile 250? I think the most important thing is we did promise we had to have cake today. So, in style, I do have, here we go, look, my free from, here we go, macaroon slices. So, I'm going to be celebrating along with you. So, if I start munching and stop talking, you'll know why. I've got a little bit of water with me, though, not a cup of tea today, because I'm a little bit warm. Okay, what I wanted to do as well, I'm going to use the, I know, Rio's only going to do 12. I'm going to use the same stencils that I used the other day when we did our lovely little Zen button. I just want to show you that there's different ways of doing it and different ways of shading as well. So I've got my regular pen, my pencil, look, I've already sharpened, and I've cleaned my tortillon. So, oh, white pencil, not forgetting my white pencil. There we go, our white chalky pencil. I know there are not any on the website at the minute. I will get that done over the weekend, so I do apologise if you need one and you've not got it yet. It will be there. I just need to get that sorted. So, okay, what am I using? I'm using a white tile with a bit of ink on it. It's the tile, sort of the off-white out of the Strawberry Fields section, but please go ahead if you want to use a bright yellow tile or a bright pink, go for it. It'll be fine whatever you use. Are we ready then? Okay, I'm going to come in first with a pencil, and I want to work on the larger circle just to start with, and I'm going to draw just around the outside. Okay. Oh, here we go. Do you know, I've got warm feet. I've got a dog sat on them. He's stuck to me like glue this morning. I think there's been a few flies in. And after our little wasp issue, I think he's a little bit frightened of anything that buzzies now. So he's stuck with me. Bless him. There we go. Okay, so you've got that kind of shape, right? Just drawn the outer and the inner for now. Okay. So, oh no, Leslie, you can have one of my gluten-free things out the cupboard, I'm sure. It'll be fine. All right, okay. Oh, Reese had ice cream, that's fine. So, I don't know. If all else fails, there's some sweets upstairs. I'm going to do this really lightly because I don't want to see it when it's done. It's just a guide to get me sort of started where I need to be. Now, Leslie, come on. I have to eat them. Oh, no cake at the office. Yeah. All right. See, I've got a little bit of ink there. I don't mind. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to sort of see it. Okay. So we've got that kind of shape. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 sections. So I'm going to work as, let's have a look now where we're going to do this. I'm going to sort of work across the top of that one. Look a bit bigger so you can see it. That's okay then, Janet. A lolly later counts. It's fine. Just a little bit of a bubble there. Oh, Joanne, you need to go and watch Tuesday's tile. It was late, honestly. We did it at 7, didn't we? So switch that off. There we go. And then that one there. See, just sort of little bumps. They're only a guide, so don't panic if they're not the same. It's fine. Oh, no. Do you know what? It wouldn't be 250 tiles if it wasn't for all you watching, would it? It'd be a little bit lonely if I did it on my own. I perhaps wouldn't do it on Facebook. I'd just do it on my own. Okay, so we've got that kind of shape. So I'm going to start with the first one. Now, just going to put it at an angle. You can actually do it this way if you want, but I'm going to go this way. You'll see what I mean when I've done it. I'm going to take one of these lines and I'm going to sort of guide it towards that line there. Okay, so if you want to go the other way, it's absolutely fine, whatever's comfortable. And then from here, I'm going to come around. I'm not going to go too thin. And I'm going to just sort of flip it over that inner circle there. Okay. Oh, okay. Leslie's got Kit Kats. That's okay then. Same again. See if it goes over a little bit. Doesn't matter. It was just a guide. And then again, around and down. See, I'm not wanting them particularly to join at the bottom. Then the next bit. So along. See, that line's just as a guide, so we get in a similar angle. And then down here and in. And then same again, look. Just going to work it all the way around. I think they've been in John's secret Kit Kat stash at the office. I'll not tell him. He'll just go looking for them. Won't find them. Okay, next one in. And of course, round it, just going over, just sort of lipping over that little bit. Oh, Chris, the Kit Kats aren't now because there's only me that's gluten-free in the office, so I've got my own little cupboard with my little cakes. And yeah, there we go. All right, so let's have a little look at this then. Okay, there we go. So we've got a kind of a donuts cake theme. We did say cake theme, but no, it's not really. It does look kind of like a donut. All right, I'm going to come in now with my pen. And I want to make these lines a little bit smoother. So I'm going to sort of come up and round in one swoop if you can. Okay. And then down and round in one swoop. Oh, Maureen, we need to swap recipes then. They're so expensive to gluten-free, isn't it, as well? And to top it all off, I have to even check the gluten-free because there's corn flour in it. Can't eat that either. Not to worry though. You see what's doing? Okay. Next one then. Around and in. And again, try and do it in one swoop. It's going to give you a smoother shape there. I'm not worried if I'm going out the lines a little bit. I can rub them out. That's fine. So remember though, if you're actually inking a tile, and maybe using a water-based ink, if you're going to rub out pencil lines, it will rub the ink away. But if you, oh, we've got birthdays. Happy birthday. Whether it's today or tomorrow, we've picked good weather for it. Oh, see, Lisa's doing a bacon butty. That's fine. We'll accept that as cake. There we go. So what I could do now, whether you want to bring the stencil in and draw in the lines now, you can do so. But if you want to do it freehand, that's fine too. I'm going to go from one to the other. One to the... Now, while I've sort of got this on here, I'm going to draw the inside line as well. Just bear with me a second and I'll show you what I need. All right. Okay, so that's all those drawn. So now I'm going to draw a line along here, just so it's going underneath those little shapes that we've done there. Okay, we don't want to sort of draw over there. We want to have a... Okay, so we've got that. And on the middle bit, again, I'm going to just draw that in with a pen. I'm not going to get my circle out. It might be more difficult to try and work out which line's which rather than with a stencil on it. So let's draw them in. Okay. There's our sort of main shape. If you've got anything really sort of noticeable then, so noticeable, we'll rub it out. That is, if I can find my rubber. You know, it's one of those things, isn't it? You have everything out on the desk and there's always something you can't find. That's why I have a Leslie. But she's not here today. And even though, you know, her wand's in the cupboard, she can't magic me. So that's okay. I'm not going to use a rubber. But I would just rub out those little lines there, you see? not to worry. Okay, let's just focus on this here just before we get going. And what I want to do is I do a little aura. Again, inside, outside, doesn't matter. So I'm going to follow this line and I draw it. Now, if you wanted to, you could bring this sort of circle in, bring it down a little bit, and use that as a curve, you see, if you wanted to. Or you could draw it freehand. See, it's not too thick, so follow that shape round, whatever you're comfortable with, and join them in. Okay, and then around. If it gets a little bit thinner or a little bit fatter, it's not to worry, you don't need to mark it. It's, just sort of going. All right, let's have a look at what we've got there then. All right, there we go. Okay, liking it. So let's look at our next bit then. I'm going to start, I think, on these sections here. So if I just sort of zoom in a little bit. Again, ignore those pencil lines. You'll not see them when it's finished. What I want to do is I'm going to draw a line on one side. Now I'm not going to go to the bottom. I'm going to sort of stop it about there. And same on this side. There we go. So it's got a bit of a stripe both sides. Now that should really touch there, but it's okay. Same with this one. Let's bring it down and round. And then same on the other side. Again, don't go too wide with this. We want to do something in the middle. So keep it close if you can. And again, if you want to use a different colour pen, it's absolutely fine. You can do that. There we go. And then same with this one. You just sort of take your time working it round and add these lines and try and do it again in one stroke if you can. It just sort of makes life a bit easier, and I think you get a nicer line. Doesn't matter if it goes off a little bit, but just give it a go, see how you get on with it. Okay. If you find it's a little bit restrictive, maybe just sort of relax on the pen. Or maybe even, change the angle of where you're holding your pen or where your wrist is. It's just a nice confident pen stroke there. There we go. So you're just sort of keeping it close. And then one here as well. There we go. Let's have a look at where we're at so far. There we go. There we go. Got that kind of thing going on. All right, quick sip, I think. So, next little bit then. I'm going to work again on this inner shape here. So I'm going to come back, zoom. All right. So let's go in with a line. I'm going to fill this bit in. So if you're using an 01 pen, it might be that you swap and use a thicker pen for that. Okay. Oh yeah, Kath, coaster designs. This would be fab. I do actually like the idea of Ruth said that you could do 4 coasters and put them in a box frame. I do mean to get that done actually. When we machine more coasters, because we bought them. Alright, see what I'm doing here? I'm going from one corner, filling that in, giving it 2 little auras. Oh, Kath, macro tile boxes, they take a long time to machine, so we haven't been able to take a massive amount on there. So I'm afraid it is. We will bring some more, so it's not like they're never going to come back, like the Jubilee tiles. We will bring them back, but they do take a long time to machine. And I think we've got a feel for Tommy today in the machine room, because it must be absolutely roasting in there. And he's busily getting all the new products done and sorted and made, so he deserves that Kit Kat. There we are. And we can get another one in there. See, it's got a little bit smaller, but that's okay. All right. So let's have a look at the next one. Now, I'm starting in the same corner each time, but you don't have to. I think it's more a natural feeling than really integral to the design. If you want to swap it over, it's fine. Leslie says they're melting. I bet that chocolate has. Or did it not last that long? So, again, if you wanted to do this where you started in the centre and worked your way out, you could do that too. Again, it'd look quite nice in different colours if you wanted to. I think I've got a touch of red ink, you know, that I've gone around the outer edge. It's quite pale, so it depends on how I feel about it. I could always go in and do another layer, another coat if I wanted to. There we are. So keeping it, working its way around to this one. Now it's completely different, don't you think, from the one we did on Tuesday. Oh joy, Christmas! I know, Christmas in this hot weather. The Christmas show for me is going to be the 30th of this month. So that's the date that's in. And then for crafters, Christmas will be the 19th of July. But apart from after I've done the 30th of this month, then I won't be back on Hobby Maker until the 28th of July. So quite a wait, but hopefully it'll be worth the wait because we've got all afternoon. We're doing a full day takeover. So getting in and out of these little curves. You can draw the lines first if you want, and then add the colouring if you want to. I think I like to do it as I'm going because then I don't lose track of which one I'm supposed to be filling in. Okay, oh, another one. And the next one, sort of in those ones there, and this one. So June's been quite a busy month, hasn't it, really? There's been a lot going on. I've been really busy. And I honestly didn't think I was doing crafters this month, but we are. So that's an extra one that we've managed to sneak in as well. Of course, I know certainly for the American customers, and it's great for you guys because you get a good deal on your postage, so that's nice. And then this one, sort of keeping it going now. Just enjoying filling those little gaps in. It would make a nice wreath, wouldn't it? It's really nice. You know, maybe add a couple of little holly leaves and a few berries. Gosh, we're talking Christmas on the hottest day of the year. That's okay. We have to plan, we have to have a bit of time prepped, don't we, for that? You see, sort of working it round. Each time doing those two little lines. And of course you could split it up and do one line or three. Or you could leave this and not colour it at all and maybe add a few little droplets or loops in there. There's quite a few little variations you can do with this. Whatever works. This would be nice on a macro tile as well, wouldn't it? Okay. Let's have a look at where that's coming so far. Looking nice. So again, back in there, filling that one in. And then the next one. And the next one. Now don't forget, don't try and keep up with me. I know it's hot today. If you need to, just make a few notes so you know what you're doing. And you can always take your time and do it a little bit later. Maybe with a A glass of something other than water in your hand. Nice sparkling wine or something. That'd be nice. It is Friday night after all. Next one. Do you know what? Sometimes I do lose track of days. I don't always know what day it is. It is Friday, isn't it? Of course, because we're doing a tile. That's what keeps me going, I think. I know it's took a little while, I think, to get used to Tuesdays. But I think now we're in the swing of it and it seems to be working, so. Yeah. Again, if you wanted to do this a bit bigger or a bit smaller, you could. And it's definitely, I know last week I talked about the tile swap, didn't I? But this week really is Monday. So if you're out and about, or if you're around on Monday afternoon at 2 o'clock, then it's tile swap video. So I think we've done really well with that. We didn't know where that was sort of headed or what we were going to do with it. We've done quite a few since. Hopefully made a few friends. So. Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think you're all doing brilliantly with the gems. If you want to put one in the middle of this, that would look fantastic. Or a little picture. So that would be quite nice. I do like putting little silhouette pictures in. And it works quite nicely. A little silhouette. Actually, I've got one here with a little silhouette on. There you go, look. So I do like drawing those. They don't really take a lot of effort, and I think even if you can't draw, you can draw a basic shape. We know we can all do that because we can tangle, so making something in the middle look a little bit artistic is a little bit easier these days. Alright, almost done with this. Okay. I couldn't possibly say April. It was just that it was on my desk next to me and I happened to mention silhouettes. There you go. Alright, so there we go. Next bit then, we've got these to sort of look at. So let's come in a little bit more. A really nice little tangle, and it's something that is very, very easy to do. You can make it as complex or as simple as you like. Is drawing the letter Y. So if I just give you a quick sort of example, 1 second. Here we go. So if I've got a letter Y out that way, maybe. See one's bigger than the other, but we could go smaller, or we could go larger and extend over. So there's all sorts of different ways of doing it. So if we come back to our tile, and I'm going to work on this section as a whole, you see? So I've gone really big with that, but still a letter Y. And then do another one here. And another one here. See how it makes a really sort of different shape? And one there. Then let's do another, maybe one there. Oh, Sheila, you talk about a t-shirt with, I was only going to do 12 on. I should do that. Now, I'm not looking at the last one. I'm just focusing on each one as a separate section. So, I'm not even trying to make them the same. So I'm going to, yeah, it's going to go up there, look. Just sort of think letter Y and see where it leads. Okay. Rose, you don't want to know what Dobby's dressed like today because he's not dressed. He's, yeah, he's already upset the neighbours because he's at home with me. And, Benji did come up and tell me that, you know, I needed to go and sort him out because they didn't know what to do with him. So you honestly don't want to see him today. He's in his nether rolls. Says it's too hot for clothes. And he knows he doesn't need them because he's free. Free elf. So he can do what he likes. Not while he's under my roof, I said. Oh, goodness me. So he has got a towel around him. Oh, good grief. Things we do, eh? Oh, goodness, I wish I'd have left him at the office, but could you imagine, you know, anybody turned up and the poor news post lady would have had quite an eyeful. We don't want that, do we? We don't want to be upsetting her. Goodness me. It's Tommy's sensible enough not to listen to what Dobby says. He's not following his lead. So that's, yeah. At least we know that's okay. Okay, so, no, Lynn. Well, Tommy has elf respect. Dobby has none. No respect for anything. Unless it's Pauline Wheeler, of course. He loves her to pieces. Okay, so there's our sort of shape there. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to choose just a couple of spaces here and add a few bubbles in. Just sort of different sizes. See how they start as a cluster and they sort of wander off doing their own thing. Not too many. And I'm not going to choose every single space. It's just sort of choosing a few of them. So just any gaps, just fill them in. You see here where I've got that little mark with my ink? I can go in and use that as a bit of a filler there. You see? Maybe I'll go back and any ink, you know, add a bit of ink there. Okay? So just pick and choose, see where it's sort of, you feel like putting a few. They're sort of primed for Nouveau drops or a bit of gel pen, aren't they, later? But not till you've inked it, right. Shaded rather, not till you've shaded it. Let that all happen first. Okay. So again, add as few or as many of these as you want, or you can actually add different tangles in the spaces. It's up to you. Let's have a bit of this here. You see, I'm just sort of making my way around. I'm not looking at the last one. I'm just choosing whatever sort of suits where I want to put them at the time. Not a huge amount, just sort of keeping it a little bit easy on the eye there. We don't want to overload bubbles. Okay. Same sort of on this shape here. Just a little bit there, and maybe a bit round here. Again, just sort of any gaps, just fill them in. And just see, adding a few in there. Just working it round. And onto this one. There we go. No rush with it at all. So do a little bit here. And a bit in there. Just sort of taking our time. There we are. Just a couple of little bubbles. Let's have a look at where we're at now. There we go. All right, so we've got this kind of shape. Again, you can put more in. You could add more wherever you want to go. You could bring little zingers in the middle if you want to. I'm going to completely leave the centre today, not putting anything in there. Just going to work with the shape I've got here. So I'm going to come in now with my pencil. And first thing I'm going to do, let's sort of take it up a little bit, is I'm going to sort of come in and add all over this section here. Okay, I'm not going to do it on the little bits on the edges. And then the same on this side here. I'm going to just sort of finish that bit off. So again, I'm not being shy with the pencil at all. So put some on, leaving that sort of edge of that ribbon there. There we go. Same with this one. And then the next one. So you're just going to sort of work that round. And along we go. And just keep it going so you've got this kind of thing in all of those sections, all the way around the outside there. You can see now why I sharpened my pencil. You don't have to keep it too neat, just make sure you've got your pencil, see, on the edge there. And then I'm coming round in like a zigzaggy kind of motion. Just sort of straight across the top of all of that. And then along. And in we go. So, how's the cake coming on? Everybody enjoying? It's nice, isn't it, to have a little celebration now and again. So has anybody worked out yet when we'll be doing tile 300? Gosh, can you imagine? 300 tiles. Next one. Here we are. Okay, so I've done this all the way around there. So I'm going to do the same around the bottom. Again, leaving the sort of edge of that bit of ribbon, but following in those sections there. If you go over, it doesn't matter, you could always go back in with a white pen afterwards, or whatever colour. But maybe a touch of gold or something. It's not the end of the world if you've gone over it. Okay, just see how you get on with it. And again, that pencil that was there now doesn't really matter anymore. It's all going to get sort of blended in. There we go. Now, because we've got tangles in all these shapes, it is nice to have that plain sort of band in the middle there. And what I'm going to do with that is add some pencil to both sides of it. Again, quite heavy, depending on, if you've got quite a wide band, you've got to gauge it on what you think, because we do want a bit of light in here. So see how you go. Oh, Rose, question. Best to use only your cream cartridge paper for your watercolours. Yeah, it'll move on all of them. If you want to use that, you can use any of them. The tiles, that is, because they're all sort of got a cartridgey paper base to them. So yeah, they'll take water. Okay. Right, tortillon then. I'm gonna start on the inside and work my way out. I think, being that I'm there already. So I'm just gonna sort of stroke that along, leaving a gap in the middle if I can. And then again here. So I'm just lightly pushing it along. I want to leave a little bit of a gap there if I can. See, just working that edge and then just pull it out a little bit. Okay, this one a little bit easier. But this one, don't work with this bit, work with this bit. And then pull it out. If you need to go back and fill any little white spaces, you can do that after. See? But you don't want it to travel too much, so just build it up a little bit as you go. Miss that one. And these are a little bit easier because there's quite a lot of dark on there. So don't need to worry as much. In we go with that one. And each one, just sort of follow the same principle. And again, take your time with it. This is almost like, it's the Christmas Eve bit, isn't it? It's the reveal of what's to come. So let's work on 9th of December, Glenys, thank you. That's not long. I know it sounds funny. It's not actually long, is it? 9th of December. Tile 300. All right, see, I'm working the same again, look, on the outer side now. So, working it along, that helps, I suppose, if I do those in the middle, doesn't it? I'll just then pull it out a little bit. See, there's little white bits. You can then go back in and just soften them up afterwards. We don't want the whole of the thing covered in graphite, so just control its edges. There we are. Let's continue. Oh, Anne-Marie, that's lovely, thank you. I've not done Hobby Maker on a Saturday before. I'm sure it'll be like any other day, but it's lovely. It's a real nice group of people there. Makes a difference. Oh, I've got somebody reversing into my driveway. They're not stopping, they're just reversing into my driveway and pulling off. Not good. There we go. See, just sort of pull it out a bit. We want to try and keep that lightness in the middle if we can and go really, really dark on the inside. And see, again. Oh, do that one first. It's got to keep forgetting those. There we go. Next one. Okay, so let's just now have a look at this line here. Don't want it to move too far, so I'm going to work it back and forth on both sides. See? And then back and forth, back and forth. So I'm softening the edge, but I'm not really moving it. And I do, although I am softening the edge, I do want a little bit harder there. We want a definite shadow. See. And again, it is sort of covering up some of my white that I wanted to keep. I can deal with that in a minute. There we go, see, working it along. There we go. So let's have a look at this. There we go. All right. So a couple of things that we still need to do. I'm going to come back in with my pen. And I'm going to work on the middle section a little bit. So where we've got these lines, just want to bring it up just a little bit. See, about halfway there. So then we've got a little line there. And I'm going to do that on both sides. So this one and this one. And this one and this one. You see? So it's enhancing that middle section. Now it does look donut-like, doesn't it? But I did promise you cake when we said we were going to do 250 today. There we are. Although it's got no calories and it's not going to go sticky. You're not going to have to fight off the wasps. Okay, let's do the same around the edge. I'm going to do this here. See, and then this here. So I'm not doing the curved bits. I'm doing they're not even flat really, but you know what I mean. I'm not doing the curved bit that joins them. So this section here, look, and then this top bit, and this section here, and the top bit. Just leaving a little gap. There we go. Morning, yes it is, it's gluten-free. Yay, and I feel that we're all eating the same thing at the same time, so that's all fine, isn't it? There we go. Okay, and then I do want to do the same. Just around, let's have a look around the inside first, see what we think. And then if we think it needs the outside as well, we'll go ahead and do that too. Let's just do it and have a look first. Oh, let's have a look. Yeah, it needs it on the outside as well. Okay. Again, try it in one sort of stroke if you can. Just gives it a nicer finish. But you know, if you want, just take your time. We just sort of want those lines to be, you know, smooth if we can. Okay, there we go. Look at that. So, okay, let's bring in our white pencil. First thing we're going to do is put it on just one side of this line here. So let's go in a little bit. Doesn't matter which. I'm going to opt for the outer edge. You see, now you might not see it much because it's sort of on a whitish tile, but it's definitely on there. And it's going to give me that little bit of a highlight that I need all the way around. Again, if you do want to sort of rub any of your lines out, then obviously do it before you put any white on. Let's have a look. You can just sort of see, yeah, you can just sort of see it there. And then I'm going to add some here, where we've got a bit of a highlight already. So this is taking the highlight off the centre and it's putting it slightly to one side. Again, we talked at the beginning about having something a little bit different and looking at how you could shade differently. Just takes the focus a little bit differently. And again, see here, just going to bring that little bit in there as well. And again, I think we mentioned this on the last tile. If your white goes a little bit grey, then you might want to just sort of rub out some of the graphite from underneath before you apply your white. But you know, see, look there, it's a little bit, but if you just pull it off, there you go, back to clean again. All right, so I'm not going to do any in the middle of these. I'm going to stick with it just there. I think I am going to let's have a look, bring in my metallics just for a second. Did a bit of a tidy up. So let's have a look. I'm going to go with, because I've got a red around the outside, I'm going to come in with a bit of red. And I'm going to choose just a few of those bubbles. I'm just going to add a little bit of red. I can add a few extras if I want, you see. I'm not going to overdo it. I'm not going to put it in where the chalk is either. Just adding a couple as I go round. Now, of course, you can use whatever colour you want. Add a few in there as well. And you can say just add a few if you think it needs it elsewhere. And there we go, sort of adding it in. See, just sort of the odd one. It's a nice thing about bringing this in. The colours are not too sparkly. We don't always want massive sparkles. We just want a little bit of colour in there. But you know, you can choose whatever you want to do. Let's have a look at this. So there we go. There you go, our blow. Now again, if you want to, just to add it, yeah, by all means put a gem in the middle if you want to do that. I think what I'm going to do though, I'm not going to do that because I want to keep our feeling of it being a donut. Just going to add a little bit of pencil. See, hardly any, just a little bit around there. And come on in with my tortillon. Very gently. Add in a little bit of shadow there. See, I'm not trying to move it too much. Just adding that a little bit of shadow. And then I'm just going to soften it off a little bit. There we go. It just gives it a little bit of shape in there. Okay. So there we go. There's our tile 250. Just needs signing. So let's put that in there. 250. There we go. So, look at that. Absolutely. Good enough to eat. Maybe a few little white spots over there would be quite nice too, you know, just a little bit in there. So let's see what you do with this one. Let's see how you get on. So, all right, have fun with it, and maybe try a few different colours. Maybe go a bit darker in places. See how that works as well. I mean, we could always see. I'm starting to faff now. Go back in and add a little bit more here. Look, I know I've signed it, but let's just do that. Sometimes you have to look at it, don't you, and see what you think. And, looking great. Love that. So I think I'm going to use a bit of spray and shine on it as well. Get a little bit of sparkle going on it, and that's going to look. It's going to bring a little bit more glitz to it as well. So hope you've enjoyed that one. And there it is, like just on cue. And we don't plan this, do we, Lynn? We don't plan this. Sneaky peeks. Well, what do we have tomorrow? Well, we know we've got the tile box. That's coming. Just working on mine at the minute. They're lovely. And we've changed the handles a little bit so you can actually put one on top of the other, which would be quite nice. I know, Nadia, I do like to faff a lot. So what do we have? You know you loved those macro stencils a lot. So yeah, I did sort of show earlier. Here we go. I have got a different shaped one coming. Look at this one. Look at that. So that one I've embossed, you can see, just as the others. But I've actually used shrink plastic as well. I've shown one. Look at that. So it's just very tiny, bless it. So there's that coming. There's a new, when I say a new book, there's a book that has not been around for a long, long time when we've decided to bring that back. So there's a different book coming out. And then I know you all love your shapes and trying to do something a bit different. So we've got a few different shapes for you. So here we go. If I just show you maybe, there we go. A couple of different things going on. So there's a few new bits and pieces throughout the shows. I'm bringing the brush pens back. There's no pencils, although I think there's maybe 2 or 3 packs in the office. That's about it. We've got some metallics. If you've not seen or didn't get a chance to have the metallic pencils last time, there aren't many, but we do have a few of those. Let me just show you the colours on those. Look at those. Oh, so nice. But yeah, so a few different bits and pieces. So I hope if you've got a chance, you know, you're not out in the sunshine, you'll perhaps come in for a cuppa and give it a watch and send me a message, send me some pictures, because as you do know, when you put your pictures in on Hobby Maker, you get put into a pot to get your name drawn. And we did have a tangler that won last time, so yeah, that would be absolutely brilliant. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed your cake, hope you've enjoyed the chats, and of course the tangling as much as ever. And if I don't see you tomorrow, then I will speak to you all again on Monday for the live tile swap. All right. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you soon. All right. Have a good one. Bye.